I'm about to put something on the screen that might make some people very upset. Some of you will not be, but some will look at this and say, what is this guy promoting? Are you ready for this one? I hope you don't get offended. 5, 4, 3, 2. There you have it. There you have it. Yep. You know what this is? This is the American flag. Okay, so would you believe me that there are some people, even youth today, that are being taught that this flag is a symbol of racism, violence, I should say, even they go as far as to say it's communist flag. It represents military rule, the dominance of America and things like that. Some see this as a negative symbol and very offensive to a lot of people. And by the way, this is happening primarily in our colleges. And what we're going to be doing right now is go through a series of video. Friends, we're going to have some fun today. And before we do that, make sure you like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more of my notification uploads. Friends, we're going to have a really good discussion right now. So let's turn over to PragerU. PragerU's got a video where Amari, I think his name is, he is going to these schools and he is just a Warwick's. He's going to the schools and just showing the American flag. But listen to the perspective and the comments and the reaction from the people. And let's ask ourselves the big question. Why do people today and many of our young people see the American flag as something offensive, something negative? Where did they get the mindset from? And that's the big question we are asking right now. Are you ready for this? Let's get to it.
Hi, I'm Ami Horowitz. Sadly, there's been a lot of controversy around some of our American symbols, like the national anthem. So I went to UC Berkeley to see what the student reaction would be to another national symbol, the American flag. I love America. This country stands for freedom. Yeah! The little piece of freedom in my hand. Who protects freedom? This guy. I am pumped. The greatest country on planet Earth that protects all freedoms, right? No? Greatest country in the world, right?
No,
the opposite.
Complete opposite.
No? Why not?
Yeah, Canada's pretty great.
You know what I'm talking about. That thing's freaking me out. Big time.
One imperial power right now in the world.
It signifies military rule.
God is not proud of us. America.
This country. America.
Wow. Why would you say that?
I seen you walking around here with the little Star of David.
Flick me off?
This is coming from Americans who live in America, going to school in America, making money and making a living in America. And their hatred for the American flag is over the roof. Why is that? What is so evil about this? Who told you it was evil? And how do you associate this with certain titles and symbols that are not really that at all, if you were to ask me? I was just in the yard recently and I took the flag from the front of our house. Let me see if I can put a picture on the screen here to show you. So on my Facebook page, I had this put up. Now there was a little statement that I make here, which I said, do I have to be labeled a MAGA Republican just because I love these United States? You know, oftentimes because you have a flag. And again, my friend Aaron had something to say to add on to that. You get these labels and titles. You know, again, whether or not you are a MAGA Republican, I don't really care about that. To me, if you love your country, you love your country. So does my neighbor. He has his flag here, and we have no issue with the flag particularly. But the issue that I'm still trying to understand is, where did this mentality come from, that the American flag is a symbol of racism, hatred and everything? Let's keep looking at this.
Consider successful.
Because she said my flag sucked, I wanted to see what the reaction would be with, well, another flag that's
very, 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 I don't know how many people did approve the flag in this video. I'm pretty sure there probably were some, but not too many were shown in this video. But when you hear how many people reacted negatively toward the flag in comparison to what he's gonna do now, is actually mind-blowing. Now, here is the next part of the video.
It's out there in the news. I stand against America. ISIS protects Islam.
This is an ISIS flag that is flashing in front of our schools. ISIS are responsible for some of the worst crimes ever done in history. Beheading Christians, killing mothers and their babies, killing homosexuals. This is the ISIS flag that he is holding right there in the colleges. What are the people saying?
I denounce the United States. The black flag of ISIS will stand over the White House. I denounce Western imperialism. I denounce American imperialism.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
Thank you.
I love that you're saying that.
He said, good for you. I love that you are saying that. So do you see what's going on here mentally? There is something mentally wrong with this thinking. And I think the thinking machine in our culture, the thinking machine, if you don't know who they are, that's the media department, right? The media has certainly played a significant role in some of these ideologies and this perception that people have of the American flag. They certainly play a significant role. And let's keep going here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. ISIS is love. We don't have hate in our hearts unless you stand against us. Then we kill. The attack in New York was a blow.
I guess it's a positive thing in America that a person can have an ISIS flag and walk down the streets and not get persecuted for it. Praise God. But at least there should be some, you know, the very much anti American flag spirit that we saw. We should have at least seen a degree of that to something higher to that. Like, hey, please get this thing away from here. At least we don't stand for this. I don't agree with this flag, whatever it represents, right? But this is done against the flag of their own country. They protest this. But the ISIS flag is barely even like looked upon as something negative. They just ignore it and just go on their own life. I mean, doing their own thing. It's, to me, it's just like not making any sense.
I flaunt your American smoking rules.
Look at that.
After spending several hours waving my ISIS flag, shouting pro-ISIS, anti-American rhetoric, a sum total of one person was upset by it. America!
Wow. So, guys, what are your perspectives concerning this? What happened to the knowledge and respect we had for this flag? And why do so many people feel the need of getting rid of it? I really believe the media, Hollywood, and a lot of the way news is portrayed from the Western perspective has a role to play. Let me know what you guys think. But the next thing we're going to be talking about here is this discussion by UC Irvine student, right? And American flag represent hate speech. Let's take a listen.
There is a flag that has divided the nation and has pit brother against brother. When this flag was brazenly put up on the campus of the University of California, Irvine, one brave student finally said enough and took a stand. Somebody hung up a flag. An American flag.
It made people feel very uncomfortable and unsafe.
So his name is Matthew Guevara. Okay. It has to be some type of Spanish or Mexican or something by the name itself. Okay.
In that room.
UC Irvine student government leader Matthew Guevara, no relation to Che, when faced with the provocative stars and stripes on campus, wrote a bill that banned the flag. Tell me about the environment created when the American flag was kind of hanging there in that room?
It was creating a very hostile environment just because of this flag being up. Yeah, it doesn't make people feel welcomed at all. To where people wouldn't even go into space anymore because it was on the wall.
What people don't understand is sometimes to be inclusive, you have to exclude things you don't like.
No, exactly.
I know what he's doing with his speech here. He's allowing him to tell on himself. He's allowing him to expose his ideation and how the level of absurdity that is in the thinking processes of some of these students, right? And it's good to hear this because it shows that something has been done to these young kids and youth that has to be undone, which I don't know how, and I'm hoping videos like this is shedding light and on certain perspective and in some ways undo and actually help us to understand the value of what we have here as Americans. While we are not saying everything is good and perfect, there are some things we certainly need to work on. We have to talk about our differences and issues. But the level of hatred that is in the hearts of people who live in this country against the country in which they live, which I consider to be the most powerful country in the whole entire world, there is no doubt in my mind. I'm a Haitian descent and I know what I'm talking about. But the thing is, this level of mentality that we have been imbibed to think is normal is actually evil. And this is what's going to destroy America. This is what's going to destroy America. Okay? This mentality is what kills America right now.
Exactly, and that's one thing that I try to hit on the legislation, that sometimes you have to exclude things.
So you wrote a resolution, and you should be proud that it passed with a pretty comfortable majority, 60%.
I was really amazed by that. It was almost every professor I talked to.
You see, there goes the problem. The professors, the teachers, the schoolmasters, they're the ones that are teaching this stuff to our children, affirming and confirming. The same thing with LGBT is coming from the schools. And when you move over to the medical world, they're confirming and affirming. You move over to the church, praise God for pastors who are standing up, right? I'm saying enough is enough. We stop being quiet, but there are some ministers and pastors who are approving it too. So there is this level of hatred for America, this level of condescension happening in this country. And even the students are admitting that this is coming from being approved by their teachers. And majority of the students, unfortunately, over 60% didn't see something wrong with this mentality. That is mind blowing. That is troubling.
Was in support of me and every graduate student I came across.
There's a legitimate view that the American flag, it represents hate speech.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's a tool to silence people.
You'd be equal.
How is the American flag a tool to silence people? From what sense does this make you feel like it's hate speech? Or, but again, well, hate speech and silencing people are two different things, right? But the thing is, I don't understand how the left or the Democrats who are bent on silencing people, shutting people's YouTube channels down, censoring people because of their views that differs from theirs, then turn around and say this flag represents hate speech and it's a symbol to silencing people. I don't understand this. I'm trying to make sense of it. I was on YouTube jail for like 7 days just because the powers that be didn't like what I've had to say. Not because I was hate speeching anybody. I usually preach here, give a little bit of gospel, a little bit of hope when we talk here in this channel, but my channel was offensive. And I had a video that had 120 something views in it. That was offensive to create hate speech, to create medical misinformation according to the powers that be. But everybody else can talk whatever nonsense they want to talk. It's okay.
Equally uncomfortable with the Nazi flag or the ISIS flag in that room, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
No question about it.
No question about it.
Hold on, wait a minute. No, he did not.
You'd be equally uncomfortable with the Nazi flag or the ISIS flag in that room, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
No question about it.
So you'll be equally uncomfortable with a Nazi and an ISIS flag alongside of the American flag? Like, who made you to hate this country so much? You need to really ask yourself the question, who has taught me this is evil? Who has taught me that? And you need to figure out why they have taught you this. This is a problem.
No question about it.
Can you identify evil in this world?
In the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the U.S. is the head honcho.
Identify evil in the world and you automatically say the U.S. When you speak of the U.S., who in the USA are you referring to particularly? Are you talking about the entire country, the people of the US? Are you talking about branches in governments that are evil? Some wicked, I believe there are some who are evil. They're going about different parts of the world and they start in trouble. Are you talking about the American people? Are you talking about the businessmen? Are you talking about those who are making things happen in this world? Are you talking about people like myself and others? Are you talking about yourself who live in the US, who funds and pay taxes in the US? Like, who are you referring to when you say America is evil? Like, how do you explain that? You have to be able to carefully work through that statement, methodically show who are you talking about? Because you cannot take an entire country full of individuals of different race and ethnicity, people with different goals and purposes, people with different worldviews and values. You cannot take the entire country and throw them all under this bus of evil. That's just that's nonsense. Well, let's keep going.
What's evil? Top of the list.
Yeah, top of the list, definitely.
I gotta tell you, man.
Top of the list. Like, people who say stuff like this, you know, they have not really understood the level of evil that really exists in the world, apart from where they live and the things that they see on the news. They think what's happening in this country here is the worst type of evil that exists. You need to think again. I'll send you to Cuba, to a communist country. Go over to China and try to be a Christian. Go over to certain parts of Africa where just having the belief of Jesus means a death threat, means death certificate. Go to Haiti and learn about what it means to be kidnapped. And I don't want to use the R word, but you know what I'm talking about. Go to these different places and find out what evil actually is. And you will come back here to the United States and realize that the grass is not greener on the other side as you thought it was. You need to really think again.
Man, this conversation, my mind, blown.
My mind too.
Talk to me about the genocide of the black man going on today.
Blacks are the most oppressed group in the US by far.
That is actually not true. But again, I have a video coming out with Larry Elder going through a document where they show data, scientific data, showing how the black race is viewed by police and how much more different the perspective actually is than that which is promoted in the news. Is gonna blow your mind. I want you to brace yourself for that one. But again, the ideation that the black race is heavily under attack in this country in 2022, that's not true.
It's one of those philosophies where if you want to make a country better, you gotta work on the most oppressed group. That's why people focus on transgender women or black transgender women, because that's the most oppressed group in society.
Most oppressed group in society are blacks and black gender people, like transgender people. Like, are you serious? Transgender folks have so much freedom in the United States. They are in government. They are in politics. I have a video coming up where I'm going to show you how the gay agenda is in everything. They're in the public schools. They have the loudest voice in the public square. You're talking about people who say what they want, do what they want, dress how they want. They have a whole month to themselves. Tell me how many transgender people in America right now is getting killed, persecuted, but I can tell you how many Christians. I can tell you how many Christians. I can tell you going outside and hold the Bible and just preach publicly could result in a in getting knocked out, which happens all the time in this country. I can tell you this is happening. I can tell you how many young children, and I can tell you how many youth are being sex trafficking. That's evil. When we want to talk about people that are really going through stuff, talk about what's happening to the young, talk about what's happening to the youth, talk about sexual abuse, talk about what's happening to the transgender community, that their bodies are being used for monetary purposes, that they are getting bodies cut, their parts cut off, and then later on realize I made a huge mistake, and the medical science in these United States have nothing to do to fix the problem. They simply say, oops, that was your choice. This is what's happening to some of these individuals. You want to talk about oppression? This is where it really exists. But to say that Black Americans are oppressed, no, nobody's oppressing blacks more than blacks oppressing themselves. And I'm being honest here, I'm a black man. Nobody oppressed me. If I didn't do what I do, it's because of me. If I didn't get approved for the credit card, it's because my credit score is bad. If I didn't get the job, it's because my degree, I didn't have the proper degree. I don't need to go into a racism tantrum in the hope of getting attention, talking about America. Are you kidding? Like, build your craft, work on your gift, put in the work, do what you need to do to get where you need to be. But to say that the country is oppressing you, these United States are oppressing you? How are you crazy? Listen, friends, I was born and raised in Haiti. What are you talking about? You want to talk about oppression? Go to Haiti and live among Haitians in the city and watch what oppression really looks like.
I mean, they're probably the most oppressed group in the history of planet Earth, if you really think about it.
Yeah, they get everything. Everything's the worst. Statistically.
Fair to say there's slavery going on in America today?
Yeah, it's still going on, and black people not being able to live in certain areas, not being able to get certain jobs.
Slavery going on in America today? He's so funny. He is funny. I think he's a little cute. Does he know? What is he talking about? Anyway.
That's modern legal slavery. Straight up slavery, yeah.
Where are your parents from?
Well, there's sex trafficking type of slavery. But I think the worst type of slavery that we now face in our culture is mental slavery and spiritual slavery. Mental slavery, I will refer to that as having been lied to, and yet you don't realize it, like this mentality. That's slavery. To think you live in America, going to school in America, making money in these United States of America, having the freedoms that you have to be whatever, right? To be gay, straight, atheist, Christian, non-believer, non-binary, whatever it is you guys want to claim to be in this country, and you say this is the most oppressive country in the world. There are places in the world you can't even claim. I can tell you, in Jamaica, there are parts in Jamaica, they find out you're gay, that's the end of your days. You understand? So this is not something you play with. And I don't agree with these mentality that these other nations have. Although I may not agree with you being this and that, but I'll fight for your right to have that choice. I'll preach my gospel. I'll tell you about my Jesus in the hope to convert you, but I will not kill you because you don't agree with me. And you say this is what America allows you to do. That's what makes this country a beautiful country. So when people are talking about America being racist and this and that, they don't know what they're talking about. They are simply regurgitating that which the media has sold them to do. They are just responding in the ways that Hollywood stars that they listen to and follow, such as LeBron James, making silly statements, such as many others who are just, crying out against the United States of America, but they're like the richest people in the entire world and worship and praise by the American people. Yet, these are the people that they listen to, not the facts, not true history, not being balanced, not even taking an objective perspective. Like, hey, look at your own personal life and tell me for real, do you really feel that way? But again, this is what we get. And thanks to our colleges and the thinking machine, the media.
My parents are from Mexico.
And why the?
That's a good one. He's from Mexico. He's from Mexico, guys. He's from Mexico. And he hates the United States of America. He's from Mexico, and he put a paper together to take down the American flag. He's from Mexico. He's going to American colleges. He's from Mexico, eating American food, driving cars made in America. I don't know what kind of cars he drive. I'm just pushing this thing, but the whole idea is, think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. That is crazy to me.
Come here to the United States.
To try find work, a better life, the American dream.
And
you know, did you guys hear about recently this college? Well, that was about a couple years ago. This college student was not allowed to wear an American t-shirt, because it was offensive to certain groups of people, and it was an act of protest. Let me let you hear the first part of this.
Back in 2010, officials at a high school near San Jose told students to take off or cover up their American flag t-shirts. They could turn them inside out if they wanted to while they were on school property, but they could not display that flag.
Wow, you hear that? Because it was supposedly something that was offensive at the time. There's more to the story, of course, but just think about that for a minute. You're telling students in colleges, which I know colleges can make their own rules and their own laws, especially certain things are happening that could be somewhat offensive and create more of a bigger problem. I can understand they have a job to do as far as protecting the lives of the youth and the students that are in their schools. But think about the ideation, though. The ideation is that this is so offensive that I want you to take it off. This is such a problem to you. This is the symbol of hatred to them. That is crazy to me. I don't understand this.
And instead, they found this oppressive American country.
There is no such thing as class mobility. That's an illusion.
Is your mother? She must be so proud that her son is now going to like a major university in the United States.
She's happy that I'm taking advantage of the education system.
She's not proud. She's happy. She's not proud. She's happy. Got it. But in Mexico, that probably wasn't possible. In Haiti, for us, that's not possible. You might learn a trade, but after you're done, you don't get a job. Unless you know people who know people, and there are some things you have to go through in order for you to get approved and accepted. This is a fact. So in places in all around the world, it's not as easy for you to get an education and have the guaranteed over 60 to 80% of college graduates in the United States will end up with a job. That's not the same for what's happening in other parts of the world. But this flag is still evil, though. Still evil. Yeah.
And your brother also successful?
He has a good life.
Yeah, must be proud.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you guys. Are you taking any kind of federal aid, federal assistance? You know, scholarships, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I got financial aid.
Why not say no to what is essentially American blood money?
It's kind of using, I don't really agree with it, but using the tools of the system to bring down the system or like create change later on.
You know, I think it's possible that you're...
You should have never gone on record saying that. Using the tool of the system to tear down the system. It might sound far-fetched, but that's exactly what's going on. It's exactly what's going on. And I think what's going on here as well is the people who really hate America, right? And I can give you a litany of lists right now of some things that I'm thinking about. There's a lot of people and nations and countries and communities and ideation that are so anti the US Constitution at heart. They hate it. So instead of going after the Constitution itself, they indoctrinate the people to hate their own country. So they got in other words, if you cannot overcome them from without, you divide them from within. So you go in and you destroy the mentality, you re-educate them, you revise their history, and you give them a new perception. And they go on now to destroy their own country on their own. Well done, diabolically speaking. I have to give the devil credit for this one.
Your bill, your resolution, that could be, who knows, that could become our Magna Carta, our Declaration of Independence. Who knows how things...
Did he say Magna Carta? That is... I get it, though. He's funny because he's just allowing him to expose himself. But again... Look how much idiocracy we're talking about here. Look how much foolishness and absurdity and lunacy we're hearing here. It's just wild. This is coming from college students. What have they done to them?
Evolve historically.
At the time when I wrote it, I didn't think it would have such a big impact, but
I'm going to quote from your bill, your brave resolution. It constructs paradigms of conformity and sets homogenized standards for others to obtain. Now, I'm not totally smart enough to understand what exactly that means, but to me, that's on the same level as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Exactly. It.
Did he just say exactly? He just trapped you with this question, boy. he still doesn't realize that Amy Warwick is just wrapping him up in a deception here. And this is well done, because this mentality is going on not only among college students, among teachers, among lawyers and doctors, even among preachers who are benefiting from the country itself. This hatred against this, if that doesn't stop, we are going to destroy ourselves. We're going to destroy ourselves.
Tries to show a certain way of life.
Right? The South Park guys say,
America! Yeah!
What I love about you, it's America. You.
Yeah, exactly.
America! Yeah!
He put the words in his mouth and he affirmed and confirmed exactly what Daily Wire is trying to do. And this is sad to listen to, but it doesn't shock me, because this mentality they've been programmed to think that way. It's brainwashed, and it's been happening for such a long time. And I think our media, our movies, and then our Hollywood stars, and just social media in itself, perception and ideation, what they promote. And what I have to admit, there are some people in this country, whether you call them white supremacists, who do use the same flag and they just put it out there and they use it as a symbol of racism. So people are making these association to the American flag as a result of the way it is being used by some extreme groups of Americans that most Americans don't even agree with. So in other words, you make evil of something that is good by associating it with something evil. Therefore, the imagery goes into the mind, and then you start to identify it as evil. It's this mind over body concept. If this power of imagery has been used in such a powerful way to leave children with a wrong perception. College education as well, which I'm not against, but many of our public schools promote some of this. A CRT, right? Race critical race theory has been part of that issue as well, teaching young children to hate America, seeing it as a racist country. So things like this make a flag like that offensive. And I think some of us are just we were not just wrongly educated. I think some of us just don't think for ourselves. Like, for you just have to think for yourself. Think for yourself without thinking what somebody else wants you to think. Tell me, having come from different parts of the world, a country where there are immigrants everywhere, I myself, having been born and raised in Haiti, coming to the United States was like, it's the dream of every Haitian boys and girls. You understand? Every boy and girl in Haiti wants to come to the United States. Not Brazil, not Portuguese, not Portugal, not Spain, not China. No, they want to come to the United States of America. Do you know why? Because they know this is the best of the best. And the best of the best. But from within this country, some are being taught, hate your country, while others without are saying, let us in. The borders all overflow with immigrants that are coming in here looking for something better than what they have going on over there. And we are in here saying it's not good enough, it's evil. And they're over there saying, please let me have a piece of the pie. So it's like, do you see what's going on here? So where do we draw the line? Where do we go from here, friends? I can tell you one thing. The number one issue that we have here is that it's not only false education, it's ungratefulness. And I've said this before. Most people think it's so bad that they just can't live and do things and make a living here in the United States. Listen, you've been taught wrong. And I'm hoping this video is going to help you to change your perception. Friends, this is a great country. It's not perfect. He has his issues. There's some things I'm against. I make some of these YouTube videos to call out some things that I don't like, and I try to lift up Jesus in the process. But the thing is to go about demonizing this country, that I cannot do. God has a place and a purpose for this nation at the stage in which we live. And if you have any knowledge of God in the Bible and prophecy, you will see how great of a nation the United States is. And it's a fact. Okay? While we have issues, while we create problems in the world, but don't get me wrong, this is a great country. Romans 1:21. Because that when they knew God, they glorify him not as God, neither were thankful. This is where the problem really is. Ungratefulness. They were not thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. So the real problem is that people are vain in their thinking because they are unthankful. They think they have it so bad until they realize how good they got it, until they lose it all. Friends, we have a lot to cherish in this country. A lot. 2 Timothy 3 verses 1, it says, this in the last days perilous time shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents. Look at the next words. Unthankful. So like the Bible highlights ungratefulness, unthankfulness as a sin, as a character trait, as an act of immorality, because we think we are so bad, so evil that you become very ungrateful. So instead of helping this nation, you start hurting it. Yeah, the devil has done a good one on so many individuals. I say that to say this, my dear friends, we have a lot to cherish here. We do need to talk about our differences. We do need to pray, preach, build businesses, make things happen. While we ought to be doing these things, it's good to keep in mind of the level of evil that has indoctrinated the minds of the young. And when you get the youth, you get the future of the United States, and the youth are not in a good condition right now. But to say that this flag is evil, is a symbol of something bad, not me, not me, not me. I never thought that way. I never thought that way. I always thought this was a beautiful country. It was my dream to come to the United States. I was 13 years old when we got our paperwork. You know, my grandmother filed for our citizenship in Haiti. At that time in Haiti, I wasn't living the worst life. I wasn't like, you know, we were decent, but we were poor. We saw hunger going, you know, one meal a day was great. And that was normal for a Haitian boy. You know, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or if you get cereal, that's like you know, that's like luxurious kind of meal. You know what I'm saying? So you know, so this was the life. You know, talk about education in Haiti is like, some people can, if you have the right folks, the right people, you raise in the right family, you can get a good education and make a living. But for the vast majority of us, I didn't even know what that was. Like, we get a high school education and that was it. And after that, you just go work and as a construction worker or something, or become a thief and start robbing banks. That's what a lot of them do, not because they're evil, but the circumstances of that nation pushes them to do these things. That's what I was brought up under. So when we got our papers, me and my brother and my mother, we got our papers at the age of 13 going into 14 to come to the United States. We knew that life will never be the same ever again. Coming to this United States, friends, let me tell you something. I have found a wife in the United States, a lovely wife, a good wife. We got children in these United States. Okay. I was able to get an education in these United States. As a black man, I'm able to be among not all types of people, Caucasian people, all types of Christian, black, Spanish, Filipinos and everything. I'm able to connect with people because the United States affords me those rights. In these United States, I can serve my God and trust him, believe differently than some people do. And I have the right, and I'm not going to be killed in these United States. Do you understand? I could put my flag in front of my house, and I don't have to worry about somebody knocking down my door. But I think eventually I need to start thinking differently, because from the way things looking right now, it looks like having the flag in front of my door might be so offensive. Eventually I might have to take it down. But friends, in these United States, I have those rights. I have those rights to believe differently, to worship differently, to thank God for all the blessings that we have. I have those rights in these United States to worship on a day that I want to worship. When I don't feel like it, I don't have to. I have the right to speak my mind, disagree with you, affirm you, approve, disapprove. And man, this is good stuff. I have the right to vote for the ones I like, to say I'm not voting for the ones I don't like. I have the right to speak in my children's education, to know what's going on there. If I don't agree, I can pull them out of the public school, put them in a private school. I have the right to do that. I have the right to question my leaders when I'm paying taxes. There are some places you better not say a thing. So when people are talking all this nonsense, they don't know what they're talking about. Pray for them, because they have been indoctrinated falsely. Make sure you like and subscribe to this page, friends. Click the bell icon for more of my notification upload. Did you see my yeah man, we got some more merch coming. By the way, let me pull my store here and show you what we got going on the store. Okay, friends, let's go over to the Look and Live store. There are some things you can get, like this t-shirt I'm wearing here. I didn't make this one, but I'm working on a couple merches similar to that shirt. For example, yeah, there we have it. There we have it. Make sure you go get yourself a copy of this one here. Look and Live with the American flag. Check it out. The prices are decent, and I can also give you a code. If you're looking to buy some things, let me know and I'll give you a code at the payout where you get a discount on that. Friends, this is the beauty of what we got going on here in these United States. Don't let anybody fool you. Yeah, we gotta talk about our issues and problems, but don't burn your own bridge. Don't burn your own house. Save what you got. And I'm a realist. I read my Bible. No nation ever lasts forever. We know this will come to an end. We know things will eventually it will eventually crumble. We know that, and it's already happening, but we should try to preserve it as long as we can in a process to save as many as we can, and so that we can proclaim the gospel and let people have their freedom and experience in the hope that they can become a Christian. We should preserve what we got. We should not be part of the destruction of what we have. It's not safe. Because you living here, by you attacking the very nation in which you live, guess who you are hurting ultimately? Yourself and your future generation. That's my perspective on this. Make sure you like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more of our notification upload. Click comment below. Put your recommendation below. Guys, you gotta know, every time you click thumbs up, you telling the algorithm to share this video. You may not like me. Maybe I talk too much. I say too much. That's fine. But when you click thumbs up, you're allowing somebody else to check out this video. So it's very significant that you give me thumbs up and you share it with somebody else. Just put it on your Facebook account, just put it on your Twitter page, and let somebody make a decision to check out these type of videos, because we need to wake up the minds of individuals from the deception that they have been told. We need to speak about the gratefulness and the greatness and the power of this nation. We need to call out the evil as well. We need to expose that which is wrong and lift up that which is good in the hope to make a difference in our world today. Thank you so very much for checking this one out. Make sure you like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more of my notification upload. Comment below. We have some recommendation below, and also links below in the description of this video. Make sure you check out to see what else we got going on here. Until next time, and as always, remember to look unto Jesus, to live by faith. Have a good one. Bye.